Changed the name of Toronto the Good to Toronto the Petty, Toronto the Small, Toronto the Pathetic, Toronto the Vindictive. A case in point, what is happening to Daniel Tate, the head of Integrity TO. You've seen him on this show many times, and if you've seen him wearing a shirt that with the old name of Yonge-Dundas Square. It's the logo of Yonge-Dundas Square from back in the day, back when it was called Yonge-Dundas Square. Why isn't it called Yonge-Dundas Square anymore? Because some progressives at City Hall, led by Chris Moyes, a city councillor Chris Moyes, who incidentally is the representative of Daniel Tate, because Daniel Tate lives in his ward, so he works for him, and he named it Sankofa Square. Nobody asked for it, cost us some money, but now it's Sankofa Square. So Daniel Tate took the logo that was no longer, if they didn't want it anymore, stuck it on a T-shirt and started raising money for the daily for our Daily Bread Food Bank. Daily Bread Food Bank. Well, Chris Moyes didn't like this, and he sent the City of Toronto lawyers after Daniel Tate, saying, we own the copyright, we own the trademark, and you better stop doing what you're doing. And so we got Daniel Tate here with us. Welcome to the show, sir. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that was a great synopsis. Absolutely. It's just completely absurd. We are in the twilight zone right now.
So let's recap. Without any historical knowledge, based purely on his feelings and some desire to rewrite the past in order to control the future. Yonge-Dundas Square, no more. Now it's Sankofa Square. Stupid name that nobody wants, and it costs us lots of money, but here we are. So meanwhile, Yonge-Dundas Square, that doesn't exist anymore, had a logo. And you put it on a T-shirt so you could raise money for
the Daily Bread Food Bank. As we know, we are in a tough spot where a lot of people have food insecurity. Lines at food banks are longer than ever. So I thought it'd be a great opportunity to kind of combine Toronto heritage and nostalgia for a square that we loved for 20, 25 years, and at the same time spend a few bucks to help people in need.
So when you say the money goes to the food bank, I guess you cover your costs, and then the rest of the money goes.
Right. All net proceeds after, just the cost of the shirt and print will go to them. So
you got a letter from Wendy Wahlberg, the city solicitor from Legal Services at the City of Toronto, saying, attention, Daniel Tate, Executive Director of Integrity TO, reuse of Yonge-Dundas Square logo. And it said, we require your immediate acknowledgments of compliance with this notice, saying, as you are aware, the logo is the property of the city, has been registered as an official mark under the blah, 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 blah. You continue to use Yonge-Dundas Square in conjunction with your company to create a misimpression that the city has involvement in or endorses your company. See, that's where I find it nonsense. If they have the courage of their convictions, then anybody knows the city has rebuffed with extreme prejudice.
Divested.
Yonge-Dundas
Square. The city said we want nothing to do with it.
So that doesn't hold water as far as I'm concerned. I'm not a lawyer, but if I were you, I'd ask your lawyers to take a look at that. And look, Daniel, we could spend a lot of time going over this. Who owns the IP? Who owns the trademark? All that stuff. The question is, why the hell are they spending 1 red cent on anything to do with Yonge-Dundas Square and coming after you when we as a city have fallen so far so quickly?
And that's your red cent. That's my red cent. That's the money of all the taxpayers across the city. Where are our city's priorities? They've already said in no uncertain terms that they want nothing to do with the name Yonge-Dundas Square. It's offensive. It's problematic. It's racist. They didn't comply with public consultation, which is what they were supposed to do if they were going to rename the square. Yeah. So they're in violation and in non-compliance, the elected leaders who decided that we couldn't have this name and we're going to throw it in the garbage.
You were the one who showed up at City Council for a deputation.
Yeah, with 35,000 petitioners.
And to tell them, hey, there's value in Yonge-Dundas Square.
Correct.
They said, no, there isn't, and cast aside our history in favor of a name that has zero meaning to any Canadians, let alone any Torontonians. And now you get this. So what do you attribute this to? What do you think this is really about?
Oh, well, this is about Chris Moyes not being a happy camper. The Toronto Sun, in the article that came out today, they did an FOI on a completely unrelated matter. But in the trove of documents that they got, they saw a lot of correspondence between Moyes' staffers and City Legal about the Integrity TO shop that was selling the Yonge-Dundas Square T-shirt. Yeah. And Moyes was up in arms. He's a vindictive guy. He's not a good guy at all. And he had legal get on the case, basically, which is surprising to me because I thought Moyes doesn't like Yonge-Dundas Square, doesn't like the name. The name was bad, et cetera, et cetera. So I couldn't understand why he was part of this plan.
Meanwhile, you've got you made waves around the world for your taxpayer acknowledgement. And I got to ask you, how do you think this jives with respect for the taxpayer?
Well, there is none. There is no respect for the taxpayer. There's no respect for public coffers. Why is the City of Toronto, through Chris Moyse, cracking down on a concerned citizen who's selling a few heritage T-shirts for a good cause, by the way?
Yeah.
And basically, why are they reminding the world about this sordid saga? We can talk all about it. How there was no public consultation, the historical revisionism, et cetera, et cetera. But again, it goes to show the misaligned priorities.
Also, most people would struggle to actually have remembered this logo. This is not the Nike logo. This is not the three stripes of Adidas. This is not the golden arches of McDonald's, all right? This is a municipal logo that, to be honest, is kind of...
pretty basic.
It's pretty basic.
Let me ask you both a question. Have you ever seen this logo before?
I think I have.
I've lived in Toronto. I was born here. I've never seen that logo before.
I'm sure I have. But this is, look, I said last week when Progress TO was championing the fact that they kept John Tory out of the race, said conservatives don't belong in politics. Like that's what they actually said. And
what a terrible thing to say.
Well, I contend that because they have realized that there is absolutely no chance that they will win any level of government beyond municipal, they have put all their chips down on this. And there are certain people like Chris Moyse who feel when you realize that they don't think people like me should have a voice in politics. People like you should have a voice in politics. They're viewing this city as their playground. This is their kingdom. This is their fiefdom, because beyond this, there is nothing for progressives like them. So they need to protect it at all cost. And this, to me, is intimidation. That's what I think this is. And you are paying for it, and I am paying for it.
Yeah, and this is basically citizens trying to reclaim what belonged to them and what was theirs. Yonge-Dundas Square was for the people, by the people. It was where I saw the Tragically Hip perform. I've seen many concerts there over the years. This was part of like the DNA of our city.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, certain city councilors and activists at City Hall decided we're going to rip it away from you.
Yeah.
And it's not worthy to live on that marquee. And now we're replacing it with a name that has no resonance or connection to Toronto. And so when someone like me, a concerned citizen, says, you know what, I'm not going to just sit here idly while you throw this into the trash can. And by the way, the marquee, the old Yonge-Dundas Square, those blue letters,
sure. Yeah.
I put in a request. I wanted to know what they did with those. Because, if it was up to me, maybe we put them in a museum or something,
sure.
or hoist them up there like they did with the Sam the Record Man sign.
Oh, gosh, no, you can't do that.
Listen.
Oh, no.
They threw it into the garbage.
Of course.
They threw it into the landfill.
Yeah.
And that really pissed me off.
So what are you going to do with this? Like, what is Integrity TU going to do? They've thrown the gauntlet down. They said, stop using the logo. What are you going to do?
I'm going to continue selling these shirts and donating every cent to the Daily Bread Food Bank. And I think if the people at City Hall know what's right for them, they will stand down and focus on what matters, like delivering a good city government for the people.
But if you show up at another meeting wearing that shirt, they'll send emails during the meeting, just as they did for this one, which is incredible.
Yeah, that's what happened. He's sending emails during the meeting instead of paying attention.
This is crazy.
On the way here, you know how many busted garbage bins I saw right here in Ward 13?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what Chris Moyse should be worrying about.
No, but tell a story about how during the meeting, because you saw it during the FOI, you could see it.
Yeah, so, okay, this is so ridiculous. Honestly, we are in the Twilight Zone. Me and a couple buddies, we went to the Osman Malik and Chris Moyse budget town hall at City Hall because obviously they're proposing an $18.9 billion budget. We want to know what they're spending it on. Turns out that while we were there, I was wearing this shirt.
Yeah.
I made a deputation about harm reduction, needles in the park, public safety, all the issues that we have. In the FOI that Justin Holmes from The Sun put forth, they saw an email from Moyse's staffer to like the city legal department during that meeting.
Yeah. So instead of paying attention,
so instead of actually listening about the issues we were bringing up, like our parks and our roads are in terrible disrepair, the snow clearing is horrible, there's needles everywhere. Instead of focusing on that, he was busy on his laptop writing letters about Daniel Tate's shirt.
these people these people need to be reminded in the next election, and I said it into this camera, this city doesn't belong to them. It belongs to all of us. And what they are doing is they are using their bully pulpit to scare and intimidate people. I think they picked the wrong guy. Something tells me you don't get scared easy. They picked the wrong guy, and I think they picked the wrong year, and I think they've overplayed their hand, and in a lot of cases overstayed their welcome. And I think this next election, in a lot of ways, some of them are in for the fight of their lives. Some are going to win. Some are going to lose. But not every one of them is safe, because I think Torontonians are waking up. This nonsense, again, just remember, Toronto, time and money is binary. For every second that this lawyer and those staffers are spending trying to intimidate Daniel Tate, those are seconds and that they are not getting back. Well, the headline in the Toronto Sun has said it perfectly. It's a shirt show. It's a shirt show. The much ado about the Yonge-Dundas Square T-shirt that has been being sold for $35 on the Integrity
Great
TO
price.
website. Great price with the proceeds after the cost of the shirt and all that stuff. It goes to the Daily Bread Food Bank. And much thanks, I think, to Chris Moyes, because the attention that he's drawn to this shirt is having you guys sell out.
Yeah, selling like hotcakes.
Well done, Chris. Well done.
But most importantly, I'm happy that people have a chance to wear the heritage and the pride of Yonge-Dundas Square. So many great memories have been had there over the years, and the Daily Bread Food Bank will get some help as well.
All right, well, let's go to the calls, because we want to hear from you. I always ask, I may be off base, and sometimes you guys call in and you level set me. So let's see. Melanie, welcome.
Hi. I just want to say that I was touched when you said that they don't really listen to what you're saying, because I'm a senior, and I've gone to many, many public consultation meetings, and I find that they're bulldozers. They bulldoze over what the people really want, what they think. They have their agenda. They stick to it. And I'll give you an example. I went to the police board meetings many years, and I find that the people on that board not all of them, do not listen to the deputations.
Yeah.
They and the deputants.
Well,
they stay on their cell phone. They do what they want. And I want to know, Ben, what would you do to change this system? I have some ideas. For example,
well, Melanie, I want to thank you very much. We got lots of calls to get to. Listen, I'm going to throw the question to you. What would you do to change the system? Because you've been there. You go for deputations often.
Yeah, well, we have to loosen up the rules to ensure people can say what they want to say at these meetings.
What sort of limitations are placed on you?
With the Police Services Board, Shelley Carroll, for example, since she became the chair, she's had a very short leash on what people can say, how long they can say it. Oftentimes, she's putting in agenda items at the last minute, so people lose the opportunity to give
And of course, she gives 7-minute land acknowledgments.
7-minute land acknowledgments. People lose the ability to say what they want. We have to protect democracy at all costs, and that means allowing these forums for people to come in and say their piece.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, and I've watched them. Right, there's it's a sort of a subtle, covert intimidation where someone will come in and they don't know what the rules are exactly, and one of the city councilors will jump on them and remind them what the rules are, and all of a sudden they recoil. Right now they're a little less confident in what they have to say. Yeah. Let's go to Dan. Dan, welcome to the show.
Ben, thank you. I'm going to push you aside so I can devote all my time to Daniel. Daniel,
the floor is yours.
All right, man. When the Integrity TO's feed came onto my connection, this dude, this organization is putting out the real news that you don't see anywhere, like actual stuff that's pertinent to the discussion in Toronto, real issues that you just don't hear. But they reflect what we all know, like what our neighbors, what we all talk about. And I want to thank them. I'm a very, very active citizen. I show up at the council meetings. I call my councillor. I've been to budget debates. I've been to all that. It takes so much time to even get involved in one issue, one local issue. If you're a productive citizen, you can't do it if you have a family and you're working, you're paying the taxes. That these useless, with their agenda, they're financial illiterates, that they just take it for granted. They sit there, they have their arms folded, they've made up their decisions, they have the agenda, they don't care about your money. And I want to thank Daniel.
Thank you.
How much time, I hope all the listeners understand how much time is needed
Yeah.
to do what he does. And he's advocating for us, the
Yes.
actual working, productive
Yep.
citizens that support everyone else.
It's a high
Dan-
energy endeavor.
Dan, thank you very much. And yeah, but to close the
Appreciate
loop,
that.
and look, I would never tell anyone who to vote for, right? And after
I would.
it's not my role. Look, I know who I want to vote for, and I can give people my version of what I think. But I want people to ask the right questions. I want them to go in open-minded, and all you can do is lead them to water.
We want an informed electorate
yeah, exactly. And
with high voter turnout
Yep.
who are well versed on the issues.
yep. All right, let's go
Look
to
at just hold on before
Yeah.
you just look at the text at from the text line.
the text here.
545.
So Daniel, a hotline for people to make complaints and grievances could raise the profile of integrity TO. Although Mayor Ford had a guy who complained a mind control device was put through his feet. Yeah, look, not every idea is a great one, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, we're not doing any mind controlled devices or chips or anything like that. But hey, I always tell people, if you got a story, if you think there's some, remember Silverman Helps
Yeah.
from TV?
Yeah, of
I
course.
love that guy,
Yeah.
and I loved that show, and I really try to channel his energy. And so if something rotten is going on,
Yeah.
send me a message and we'll see what we can do.
Well, give us a call, 416-870-6400 or 1-888-225-TALK. Question I have now is, like, what would you do if you were in Daniel's spot? Would you keep selling the T-shirts and let the chips fall where they may? Do you think the City Hall is going to blink? Because this is ludicrous and so nonsensical and pathetic. Chris Moyes, this is friggin' pathetic. It's pathetic.
Amateur hour.
You should be ashamed. You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed by this. You're a city councilor. You should be spending your time leading and representing your. Instead, you got some bone to pick with a citizen who cares, who just happens to care in a different way than you. This is an embarrassment, man. Jesus. All right,
John on line 3 is a huge fan of Chris Moyes. So
All right, well, John, welcome.
Hey, hi guys. I just want to start with Mr. Tate. You are honestly, I've listened to you speak, a very thoughtful, well-spoken, organized, and it's amazing to see you in the chambers there. And
Thanks.
I was born and bred in Scarborough, 35 years until I moved out to Durham. But I'll say this: every time there's some controversy or some problem or some issue, Chris Moyes' name always comes up. And I do find it humorous that, the city has been raising taxes. And on your note, they freeze, the TTC fares, and but they ask for more money. And then now he hires a lawyer on taxpayers' money. He just instigates fights that don't need to happen.
He's a bully.
And I'm glad you're around.
Thank you. I
So,
really appreciate that. And again, these are some of the what I think are bad faith actors in city government who are driven by an activist class who have also infiltrated City Hall. And this is why this city in many ways is in a world of hurt. And we've seen and felt the decline in the last 4 to 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's what we all need to fight for. We need to bring back integrity and merit to government.
Yeah, and I mean, if Chris Moyes ever came on this show, and I suspect he wouldn't.
He should come on the show.
I think he should. I mean, he should want his ideas tested against people who disagree with him. And if he showed up, I would be far more respectful to him as a guest on my show than as sort of the focus of my ire. But honestly, I would ask Chris Moyes, is this the right use of taxpayer funds and resources? And explain it to me like I'm a 3-year-old, because anybody else knows exactly what this is. It's an intimidation tactic to silence somebody he disagrees with. And if he wants to prove me wrong, he can come on this show. I will give him, he can come on for a half an hour. We can talk about anything he wants, but I would absolutely want to talk about this. And the invitation is open to you, Chris Moyes. I'll even call you Mr. Moyes if that's what you want.
Councillor Moyes.
Councillor Moyes. You can call me Nepo Baby for all I care. I've got a thicker skin than you. I don't care. Let's figure out why the heck you directed a city lawyer. You have a problem with that and using my money to do it. No, sir. I got a problem with that. So please come on here and explain it to me like I'm an idiot.
Don on line 2
Yeah,
has
Don.
something to say exactly about that.
Don, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys, thanks. I'll make it quick. Listen, I think we need a legal department in this city, and I think that's fair. However, if any counselor wants to put the legal department on an individual pet project like this, the legal bill should come out of their office budget.
Yeah.
And that way it would stop basically harassment little suits like this from starting in the first place.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that. Daniel, I'm going to give you, we're running out of time, so I'm going to give you the last 30 seconds here.
Okay, thank you. Well, I really appreciate the opportunity. People are really loving the Yonge-Dundas Square T-shirt. It's a great shirt. We know that what happened with that renaming left a bad taste in the entire city's mouth, and we're going to have to rectify that in the future. And if you would like to get a shirt, go to integrityto.ca/shop.
Daniel Tate, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Keep up the good fight.